joining our session today. My name is April. I'm from UNCDF, the Innovation Lead for Financial Health. Thank you for joining in today's session on how UNCDF found new age financial health solution providers leveraging on Apix. So today we have two speakers here. We're going to have like a casual chat here. First we have Tiffany Tong from Aeloi, and then there's Moe Tengku from HeyAlfred. So we will just a brief run through today. We will just share how UNCDF come about with this financial health challenge for looking for solutions during COVID-19 pandemic, beginning of the year or mid-year, and then also how we came about these two wonderful startups participating in our event, and then to really share through our journey with Apix. So maybe I could start off a little bit first, and then second part we will just introduce a bit of the company by Tiffany and Moe. And so on my end, I'll take you through the journey of Apix, where we run through challenges. And the challenges we run was, there was this, with COVID-19, a lot of people were hit badly. And so we wanted to find innovative solution to come up with where we can help with financial health, improving financial health for a certain type of market. So we wanted to connect with the market and seek for innovation to support the ecosystem. And we came across Apix, and it's a platform where we use. And so maybe I'll just like to turn to now Tiffany, who could share a little bit about her company, and then how did she come to applying to our challenges from our platform. To you, Tiffany.
Absolutely. Thank you, April, and welcome everyone. Very happy to be here today. So we are Aeloi Technologies. I'm co-founder and CEO. We are a startup based in Nepal, although we do have global ambitions. So first off, maybe let me show you what our company does, and I will share some of my slides for a quick introduction. Just hang in there 1 minute so that I can share my slides. So today I first wanted to introduce you to Lakshmi here. Lakshmi is a buffalo farmer in Nepal, and she needs capital to expand her buffalo cheese production business. But legally she doesn't own any collateral, so microfinances wouldn't give her a loan, and she can't afford a 40% interest rate informal loan. So when we met Lakshmi a year ago, she was in a real bind, so she had a really good business going, but she couldn't get the capital she needed. So in emerging markets, there are 400 million micro entrepreneurs just like Lakshmi. And actually, there's an estimated $8 trillion credit gap for them. They're underserved or not served at all. And even in ASEAN alone, this is over $200 billion. So these are the engines of growth for the grassroots economy, but we cannot support them enough so that there's this huge credit gap. And the main reason for this is that business expansion is unaffordable because very few people or institutions, even microfinances, really trust their abilities to run good businesses. So that's why they're not willing to lend money to them unless they had collateral, unless they had credit history or formal employment, which often does not exist at all, especially for women in this sector. So at Aeloi Technologies, our mission is to use technology to grow this trust, to unlock the private capital that is available for these micro entrepreneurs. And our solution is a software for financial institutions. We help issue micro business loans in digital tokens. So these digital tokens can only be spent at accredited vendors. So an agriculture loan can only buy from agriculture vendors. And then the vendors, once they provide the goods and services, they redeem the payment back into cash from the microfinance institution. So for microfinance institutions, this helps lower the field operations cost, which sometimes can go up to 30% of their operations cost. And we do this by manually automating the manual loan process, where they are monitoring if someone had bought a cow, right? If they bought a buffalo yet. And then for micro entrepreneurs, we ensure access to affordable supply chain input financing through this method. And for vendors in the system, we actually bring customers with good credit, similar to a credit card model, because a lot of times for these small vendors in small rural areas, they give out their goods on credit anyways, because their customers might not have money at the start of the season when they're planting. They only have money at the end at harvest when they're selling their goods. So like an automatic audit, our system provides real-time loan insights. And we use SMS and an offline app, so there's no need for smartphones or mobile data. This is really built specifically for this sector of the micro entrepreneurs that we serve. Mobile penetration is going up, so we are going to transition this offline app into an online app, but at the same time there are a lot of users that are not served by current digital wallets or digital financial services because they cannot get online. And we scale by partnering with financial institutions. Our 5-year goal is to become a big data platform that has an ecosystem for investment. So an ecosystem of vendors, of micro entrepreneurs, of financial institutions, and impact investors. So anybody who's interested in incentivizing women entrepreneurs or renewable energy or any specific sector can come to our platform and be able to invest specifically. So my team, my co-founder, Sonika Manandar, and I, we met at Singularity University in Silicon Valley. And for 20 years, we have grown our skills in data and technology at the World Bank and Microsoft Innovation Center in Africa and Asia. So far, we have launched 2 products. We've grown our team, very talented team, to 12, and also won 8 awards that you see here. So our vision really is to make each dollar of investment so that it transforms micro entrepreneurs like Lakshmi and her buffalo cheese business. So this is very briefly about my company, and why we joined Apix was because that and the UNCDF Financial Health Challenge was that during COVID that was extremely hard situation, and that we wanted to make sure that we can bring our solution to a wider range of audiences. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Tiffany. And over to you, Mo. Maybe you could share a little bit about your company, and then how do you come about applying it, and why would you want to apply for this financial health challenge?
Sure, thanks. Well, first off, I'd like to thank the organizing team as well for having us here. It's a great platform to share. Always eager to share the HeyAlfred journey. But our journey started a little different, probably. We started out sometime earlier last year, even before the whole pandemic or even COVID situation actually took place. And the idea that we wanted, or in fact, the problem that we were trying to solve at the start was trying to understand why millennials are broke. This is one of the largest single world's, in fact, if anything, the biggest problem that's happening with the millennial generation now is that the fact that they don't know where their money is going. That actually contributes to low financial literacy that's happening across Southeast Asia. We've seen Southeast Asian countries having one of the lowest financial literacy, exception for some of the few countries. And we really wanted to see why was this such a big problem, from which it actually also contributes to national debt and other social problems. So this is where we come in. HeyAlfred is a AI mobile app that automatically tracks the user's spending. It automatically links to their banking accounts and e-wallets, from which we gather data and run it through our AI and machine learning for us to be able to churn out insights that is regurgitated back to the users. One of the biggest problems that we find ourselves, our users, is the fact that they don't even know where to start in terms of trying to improve financial health. And this is where we really see ourselves as a tool for them to be able to discover some of the different products available and financial products available out in the market for them through our product discovery. Lastly, we're trying to make this idea of savings fun again. This concept has been lost, and is also one of the biggest factors to low financial literacy. And it's only clear when we first found out about the UNCDF challenge, and how it could actually help us, or how our solution could actually help improve financial literacy across emerging markets. We decided to jump on board, and no regrets ever since. Great experience thus far, and yeah, so I guess this is why we're here today as well. Yeah.
Right. All right. Thank you, Mo. Maybe on my end, I'll share with you on the journey of how to using the platform on the organizing side. Organizing the innovation challenge. So on our end, we actually have we are like ecosystem builder. We want to reach out to the market, and but the way to reach out to the market is run all this innovation challenge. And because this is online, so I would usually like to have a Q&A session or more like an interactive session with the audience. So just a reminder, if you have any question, you can type away your question as we go along, and then we will be able to answer the questions towards the end of the session. So yeah, just a point on that. So as you hear us speak, you can type away all your questions away. So back to the innovation journey, we were planning, how do we reach out to the market? There are other platforms, there are other tools, but it's very difficult to get a lot of tools here and there, and then we have to manage so many tools. So Apix was one of the tools where everything was under one roof. So the first journey, maybe I'll split them up into three. So setting up was actually relatively easy on our side because we have a tech team from Apix that actually support us throughout the journey. Very easy, contactable if we have any question. It was very quick, so it was very personalized and very reachable. And what we did was, it was very easy to put in questions, setting questions, setting up the problem statements, and it was just on Apix platform. So one of I would say the pros on joining the Apix platform was there is an Apix community. So there was like a wider reach for us to reach out to the market by using this Apix platform. So the setup was I would say it's important because when we create a journey, a challenge, and if the market doesn't know about it, it's just very difficult to reach out to more people. So having that Apix community was really helpful. And then the second part was the judging part. And on the judging process, we had 2 stages of judging, excluding eligibility criteria. So with that judging process, it was also relatively easy on the sense where we could onboard judges on the platform, and the judges would be able to score applications, to review the application and score the application. So this is something that Moe and Tiffany didn't know about how on the back end, judges was reviewing the application. There were links that you can input on. And then there was scoring rubrics where judges can easily input the scores, like a drop box where it just click on the numbers and just by adding in comments. So it was relatively easy rather than doing it in the Excel format, sending all the forms. So this was very helpful on the judges end. And then the third one is announcement. So the moment we close the application, when we finalize the application, when we just a click of a button, the emails will be sent out to the application, whether they are accepted for the next stage or, unfortunately, they did not go through the next stage. So the setting up was easy. The judging process was also relatively easy. And then the announcement was also very, very helpful. So I would like to turn to Moe and then Tiffany on the journey of using the platform, right? So that is on our side, the organizer side, how to set up the questions, right? So, but how is it like on the applicant side, right? So maybe I'll just go with Tiffany. How was the experience like when you're using the platform while you're applying for the challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. It was actually just as easy as you explained from the other side too. So we were introduced to this platform through this challenge, so it was our first time seeing it. But we also at the same time saw a lot of other hackathons and challenges. So it's a great centralized place to find similar competitions to apply to. And in terms of the application process, it's also super simple. Questions, and you're able to upload documents, everything in the same place, and everything's in a workflow, so you don't have to worry about it. You see announcements, everything's inside. And then actually once we got onto, we were selected to join the cohort, very thankfully, and during that process there was also mentor matching. So there's a mentor matching function within there, and the UNCDF team helped us match to some really awesome mentors, and that helped us through the program. And hopefully we can also still maintain access to that in the future, right? In addition to that, afterwards, after the UNCDF Financial Health Challenge, we were recommended to join the Global FinTech Accelerator that's hosted by the Monetary Authority of Singapore also. And through that, we had a session about Apix, and there's actually a tons of more functions within Apix. They've onboarded a lot of banks. There's APIs for startups and fintechs to plug in and work with. And there's also problem statements from these financial services. So from financial institutions, they have put out what kind of problems that they have, and they want to get matched with fintechs to help solve that. So that function is super interesting to us as a startup fintech. We do work more in emerging markets, so it is we hear that they will be onboarding a lot of banks in different markets around the world. So we're looking forward to using that function soon. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Mo has a little bit of different explanation because he is managed to have access to the API or test it out, right? So Mo, why don't you share about, how was it like on your end?
Yeah, I mean, we can't rave enough about how easy the onboarding process is, but truly was. It was quite seamless. I think the team did a really good job. But what really interested us with the Apix platform was the fact that they had mock APIs as well when we first started out the hackathons. Obviously, that gave us a little bit of leverage in terms of building the solution to see what sort of APIs are available out there from already market operators and banks and financial institutions, for us to see how startups like ourselves are able to then model our backend architecture based on those APIs, to see whether those best practices when it comes to developing these such APIs. I think that the Apix platform really did give us an overview to see what the industry is really tapping into and how we are looking forward towards building this interoperable future, that we so talk about. I think I do agree with Tiffany that for us, one of the biggest financial inclusion problems are happening within the emerging markets. And we would love to see a lot more of these, obviously in due time. But this is something that we hope for a bright future as well.
Great. Nice. And do you have, just sharing, when you're applying, going through the application, was there, I think it was so easy that there was nothing difficult about it, but what stands out from the other application or the process when you're applying compared to other application that you actually usually apply to?
Yeah, well, April, you did mention about the platform itself had a judging criteria as well embedded into it. Now that the challenge is over, we might have some words about the judging criteria about it. But in any case, I think that's something that is something quite useful. Everything because of the dynamics of the startups joining the hackathon itself, being very global competition. Having a single platform to manage everything would really allow for ease of coordination. And we really did enjoy the whole program with UNCDF as well. That was run through, I think it was run, one of the best.
Oh, thank you. I guess we're all just running different challenges or different innovation challenge this year, right? I think maybe the reason why you say this is one of the best, I think it's just because it's very relevant this year. The solution that we're looking for this year is just very, very relevant because it's happening all around us, right? And we can see the impact that it's just right in front of us, and doing the research on the ground, that the solution is potentially something that they would use, right? So I actually would. Sorry, go ahead, Mo.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think as much as the platform allows for technological enablement across these and covering a lot of the technical objectives that it set out, it's also great to see initiatives like this coming out, and especially having backings as well. This really does stamp, having forefront that organizations such as UNCDF as well, working together closely with private sectors and banks and also government agencies to be able to provide such a platform like Apix, to see how innovation can actually really help and improve the lives of everyone.
Absolutely. And I just want to jump in here also. As a startup, there's so many different platforms and so many different application forms. And, in some platforms, you don't have a history on them. So it's very hard for the the organization hosting these hackathons to see what you have done and what were your results from before. So to have like a really trusted place where you can have your information there and you can continually update it and have that kind of track record there is super helpful. And I honestly personally just wished all of these programs could decide on one place, hopefully Apix, and to have all of the challenges to be there, so that it also makes it easier for us from an applying standpoint. So you know, the questions are more standardized. We can probably share some of those answers from application to application, which really saves us a lot of time. And to also be able to show, like at one point, I think it was asking us to update some of the results from the program after a few months. So, you know, that kind of track record, and it's trusted, is really invaluable for the next stages that we are moving into. And also to add, like the Apix platform is not you know, in addition to the application side, once you're onboarded, I think there's something like 300 fintechs on it already and hundreds of banks, right? So it's really fun just to look through who is on there, and we know that some of the banks really mean it, because I think the annual fee is actually quite high to be joining the platform. So you know that they're there to look for innovation, and that already is a stamp of kind of not approval, but like something to understand these banks are really looking for innovation. They're really looking to invest. They're really looking to partner. So that for us as startups is really, really useful knowledge that as an outsider you don't always get, especially if you're moving to a new market.
Great. No, this is very insightful, Tiffany, especially when you said hopefully all programs is under one platform, because I'm just thinking on user sites, right? You know, because all application will ask what's your company solution, what solution you're provided for, explain your solution. That is so true. And then usually it's just copy pasting, but again, you know, every challenges have different problem statements, right? So it's a bit of tweaking here and there, right? So far, I have not received any questions from the audience. I really do encourage you to send any questions that you have, and you know, let us know. You know, let's just make it more interactive. How many of you have heard of either UNCDF, Aeloi, or HeyAlfred? You know, or what do you think about Aeloi and HeyAlfred or UNCDF? You know, let us know how we can potentially help you, and or how would you like to reach out to us? You know, that's one of the things. And also, or maybe you could share who are you in the audience and which background you're from, and so we can share like a bit more what that's relevant to you. You see. So I think while we're waiting for the question to come in, here I think some of the summaries here on the organizing side. You know, when we organize Innovation Challenge, it's easy to set up. I think it's just important setting up the judging platform and also the announcement, the following through. The whole process is relatively quite easy. And then on the user side, like Tiffany was saying, it's just easy to, you know, putting in your questions, your applications, and all the other tools that you have. And then for Moe at Moe's end, it's the smart APIs. I think that's one of the most useful one for you when you get to play with APIs.
Yeah, for now at least, we hope, you know. For now we hope it's mock, but it does gives us a playground, especially with the tool that we're building. Essentially, we would love to be working with financial institutions all across to be able to provide solutions that they're domain experts in, utilizing these APIs. So I think, yeah, we'd like to see a lot more, if not more effective ones, coming out of the platform as well.
Great. No, I do take pointers, Tiffany, on the having all programs under one platform on your side. You know, take note and tell them this to Apix. You know, is there? I'm just waiting for the team to let us know if there's any questions on. And yes, perfect. So maybe if you'd like to reach us for us to know more Innovation Challenge, you can always go to uncdf.org/finlab, FINLAB. That's where we share all our challenges here. And if you'd like to know more about the two companies here also, we do have the short summary on them, where you can actually click onto their website too. or maybe because we still have some time, is there anything that Tiffany or Mo would like to add that we can look forward to in terms of your company? What is anything exciting for next year on your both end?
Yes, absolutely.
Or maybe Tiffany first.
Right. Thank you very much. Yeah, this has been a great session. Thank you, everyone. As a young startup, we're really looking to expand. And recently, we've had some people reach out to us from Ghana and Tanzania to be able to expand to 15,000 farmers there. With loans probably totaling $9 million. So we're really excited. And I think the Innovation Challenge has really brought us a lot of visibility, and that's partly why all of these contacts are coming in. So we're definitely open to partnering. We're open to anywhere in the world, really, and we're open to partnering with microfinance institutions or fintechs. Anybody who's interested in using new technology to support their work right now that we can work with, also very much open to partnering. So please do come check out our website, come check out our microsite within SFF. And we're also pitching on Thursday at Demo Day as part of the Global FinTech Accelerator, one of the top 20 finalists. So please do root for us and have a great time this week at SFF.
Great. Thanks, Tiffany. And Mo.
Yeah, so yeah, I'd like to take the opportunity again to thank the organizers for arranging for this. It's the program with UNCDF has also helped us in terms of what Tiffany mentioned in terms of some visibility as well. We're in talks with some of the financial institutions that we've engaged with from the programs as well, and also in hopes to see that we have a lot more innovation that comes out from platforms like this and collaborations especially. That could be fruitful ones in the future. So if you want to find out more about how we're helping millennials stay out of being broke, then you can visit the website at www.HeyAlfred.co, or you can just ping me at Moe Tengku, on my socials.
Great. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Tiffany, and thanks, Mo, for this wonderful session where we get to share our insights on how we can use leverage on platforms and tools to really make our life easier, because life is already quite tough sometimes. Having this platform might be useful. So I'd like to thank the organizer for having us. I'd like to thank you two for your time, and I'd like to thank the audience also being with us today. And have a great sessions at the Singapore FinTech Festival. And I'll see you guys in the other session that we have with UNCDF. We have over 30 sessions this week. So we'll see you guys at our other session. All right. Thank you guys and have a great week. All right.
Thank you so much.